With a song in my heart, the story of men and their music, of composers who really had a song in their heart.
Somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my.
And to the strains of one of their loveliest songs, the enchanting Blue Moon, we present the story of Rodgers and Hart, Songdom's most successful writing team of the 20th century. Indeed, Rodgers and Hart have been called the Gilbert and Sullivan of this era. Frankly, this is a difficult comparison musically, as both combinations worked in totally differing spheres. But from a success point of view, they'd rate about 50-50. Richard Rodgers and Lawrence Hart first became acquainted in 1919. Rodgers was just entering Columbia University, Hart just leaving. A mutual friend, Phil Leavitt, brought them together.
Hey, Larry, I want you to meet a pal of mine.
Sure would like to, Phil.
Then meet a freshman, Dick Rodgers. Dick, this is Lawrence Hart, better known to the gang as Larry.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Hart.
Glad to meet you, too, Dick. But for the love of Mike, drop that Mr. stuff. Everyone knows me as Larry.
All right, Larry it is.
Hey, listen, fellas. I particularly wanted you two to meet.
How come, Phil?
Well, that's easy. You write lyrics, Larry, and good ones. Dick here writes music. And how? Now, why don't you boys get together and team up?
Sounds like an idea to me, Phil. What do you say, Dick?
Gosh, I think it'd be wonderful.
And that's how the team came together. At that time, Rodgers was aged 16, and Larry was 23. They started into work almost immediately, but it was to take them 6 long, weary years before they got their first break. They were just about ready to quit.
What's the use, Larry? Why go on and work our hearts out when nobody's interested in our material?
Yeah, that's the way it is. We're in a rut, and that rut's so deep at any moment we're going to be bogged in it. But there's one thing, Dick.
What's that, Larry?
We might go down in history as the confidential songwriters. We keep our songs all to our little selves.
Oh, quit the kidding, Larry.
Hello? Yeah, Larry Hart speaking.
Hey, Dick, it's the Theater Guild on the wire.
Yeah? You want us to what? To what? Oh, yes, of course. We'd like to, yes, but of course. Yeah, we'll be there this afternoon at 3. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Yippee! We've made it!
What is it, Larry?
The Theatre Guild want us to write the score of their new review, Garrick Gaieties.
That was the turning point for the boys. They turned out some good tunes for that show, one of the most popular being Mountain Greenery.
In a mountain greenery where God paints the scenery, just two crazy people together. While you love your lovelet, blue skies be your coverlet. When it rains, we'll laugh at the weather. And if you're good, I'll search for wood so you can cook while I stand looking. Beans could get no keener reception in a beanery, bless a mountain greenery home. When the world was young, old Father Adam with sin would grapple, so we're entitled to just one apple. I mean to make applesauce. Head upon the ground, your downy pillow is just a boulder. I'll have new dimples before I'm older, but life is peaches and cream. Mosquitoes here won't bite you, dear. I let them sting me on the finger. We could find no cleaner retreat from life's machinery than our mountain greenery home.
The Garrick Gaieties ran for a year, and hard-boiled Broadway critics were lavish in their praise of the young songwriting team's effort. Alexander Woolcott stated,
The Gaieties should be indebted to Lawrence Hart for some scintillating lyrics in the modern idiom. Wedded to these were some really good melodies supplied by one Richard Rodgers. I'll take a chance here and now and state that these young writers will go a long way in the theater.
how right was his prediction. They followed up Garrick Gaieties with the musical comedy The Girlfriend, and this production definitely stamped them as writers out of the ordinary. The hit number of this show is still as popular today as it was when first introduced in 1925. Yes, it was Blue Room.
We'll have a blue room, a new room for two room, where every day's a holiday. Because you're married to me.
Not like a ballroom, a hall room, a small room, where I can smoke my pipe away with your wee head upon my knee.
We will thrive on, keep alive on, just nothing but kisses for Mr. and Mrs. on little blue chairs. I'll sew my trousseau and Robinson Crusoe is not so far from worldly cares as a blue room far away upstairs. We will thrive on, keep alive on, just nothing but kisses for Mr. and Mrs. on little blue chairs. I'll sew my trousseau and Robinson Crusoe is not so far from worldly cares as a blue room far away upstairs.
Rodgers and Hart followed up the success of The Girlfriend with another success called Dearest Enemy, which definitely put them in the money. They decided that one of the best ways to spend some of their wealth was to take a trip to England and the continent. One day, whilst traveling in a Paris taxi...
Dick, am I enjoying myself in this town? Oh, boy.
I'll say you are. You'll fall for one of these French beauties for sure.
Who knows? Who knows? They're so beautiful, so chic, so...
Yes, I know. But remember, you said the same thing about those London girls, the same thing about those Spanish beauties, the same thing about those Italian.
Yes, Dick, I know it's true. But these Parisian dames... Take that girl that looked at me as we were leaving the hotel. I took one look at her and my heart stood still. Say, that's an idea. I took one look at her and my heart stood still.
And believe it or not, before they got out of that taxi, My Heart Stood Still was practically completed. When they arrived back in New York, they made it the theme of a new show, Babes in Arms. English entrepreneur, the great Charles B. Cochrane, heard it in New York and sent for the boys.
Larry, Dick, I sent for you to see if you'd let me have My Heart Stood Still for a new show I'm about to present in London.
Well, Cocky, your request is a bit difficult. You see, it belongs to the score of Babe in Arms.
Yes, I know, Dick. But my London show needs one special out-of-the-box number for Jessie Matthews and Sonny Hale. And your song is it. I must have it. In fact, I'm prepared to pay you £1,000 for the right to use it in my show.
Well, when you put it that way, Cocky, what do you say, Larry?
For £1,000, Cocky, it's yours.
Yes, and when presented in London, it became the biggest hit of the year. Mr. Cochrane considered it a cheap buy. Do you recall it?
I took one look at you, that's all I meant to do, and then my heart stood still. My feet could step and walk, my lips could move and talk, and yet my heart stood still. Though not a single word was spoken, I could tell you knew that unfair clasp of hands told me so well you knew. I never lived at all until the thrill of that moment when my heart stood
By this time, the talkies had arrived, and the lovely Jeanette MacDonald and the mercurial Maurice Chevalier had made the best musical talkie up to that date, the famous Love Parade. Hollywood, naturally enough, wanted them to play together again in a new show.
The public are just screaming to see Jeanette MacDonald and Maurice Chevalier in another new musical.
Yes, and we've got the show for them, too. Who's going to write the lyrics and music for their new production? That's the question.
That should be easy. Rodgers and Hart must do it. Why, they've written 5 musical comedy hits in a row.
I know that, but they don't appear to be interested in coming to Hollywood.
True, but money talks. We've just got to get them down here.
And sure enough, they did. And the boys didn't let them down, for from that show, Love Me Tonight, came some of their most charming melodies. Isn't it romantic? And Mimi.
Isn't it romantic? Music in the night, a dream that can't be heard. Isn't it romantic? Moving shadows write the oldest magic word. I hear the breezes playing in the trees above, while young on such a night as this. Isn't it romantic? Every note that's sung is like a lover's kiss. Sweet cymbals in the moonlight, do you mean that I will fall in love perchance? Isn't it romance?
Mimi! You funny little good-for-nothing Mimi. Am I the guy? Mimi. You sunny little honey of a Mimi. I'm aiming high. Mimi, you got me sad and dreamy. You could free me if you'd see me. Mimi. You know I'd like to have a little son of a Mimi by and by.
As usual, success brought many interviews from top critics of the day. One such critic asked Rodgers,
Mr. Rodgers, there's one particular question I would like to ask you, and it's this. When you and Mr. Hart are working on a new song, which comes first, the words or the music?
Well, there's really no answer to that question. My favorite Blythe partner, Larry, often hands me a completed lyric to set the music. More often, I have a tune ready for him to work on. There's no set formula.
Oh, that's most interesting. And tell me, when do your melodies come to you? Do you get some inspiration in the middle of the night, for instance?
No, sir. Melodies never come in the middle of the night. I've got to get at the piano and go to them. The same, in most cases, applies to Larry Hart's lyrics. Why, on occasions, we sit together in a room for days on end until we positively hate each other.
but with these boys it always came right in the end. And it was not so long after this that they gave us another typical hit. It was that glorious tune, Lover.
Why quarrel with our bliss when two lips of coral want to kiss? All of my future is in you. You're every plan I design. Promise you'll always continue to be mine. Depart, lover, I surrender.
Of course, like all songwriting teams, Rodgers and Hart occasionally had their differences, but it mostly amounted to affectionate killing. Rodgers was the reserved, gentlemanly type. Hart, on the other hand, was effervescently exuberant. One night, during rehearsals for their production, I Married an Angel, Hart turned to Rodgers and said,
Dick, that orchestra's too loud.
I don't think so, Larry.
You don't think so, eh? Well, I tell you it is. It's so loud, it's killing my words. It's drowning them.
Well, what do you want? Do you want the audience to go out whistling your words?
And that's the way it was. When they got hot under the collar, they generally laughed it off. Because at heart, they were not only business partners, but firm friends, too. Speaking of their show, I Married an Angel, I think it's worth reviving their haunting duet from this production, Spring is Here.
Spring is here. Why doesn't my heart go dancing?
Spring is here. Why isn't the waltz enchanting?
No desire, no ambition leads me. Maybe it's because nobody needs me. Spring is here. the breeze delight me?
Spring is here. Why doesn't the night invite me?
Maybe it's because nobody loves me. Spring is here, I hear. Spring is here. Why doesn't the breeze delight me?
Why doesn't the night invite me?
Maybe it's because nobody loves me. Spring is here, I hear.
Once again, after a stay in London and New York, a fat Hollywood contract came their way, and they spent 15 months there. But they didn't like it. As Rodgers stated,
Well, they finally got us back to Hollywood. We stayed there over a year. But during that time, we were called on to write only 5 songs. Money or no money, that isn't progress. It's stagnation.
but the time wasn't altogether wasted. For during that visit, they wrote a number for an Alan Jones film called Falling in Love with Love. Remember?
Falling in love with love is falling for make-believe. Falling in love with love is playing the fool. Caring too much is such a juvenile fancy. Learning to trust is just for children in school. I fell in love with love one night when the moon was full. I was unwise with eyes unable to see. I fell in love with love everlasting. But love I fell in love with love one night when the moon was falling in love. I was unwise with eyes unable to see. I fell in love with love everlasting. But love
These days, the team of Rodgers and Hart is no more. Lorenz Hart died somewhere around 1943. But during their 20-odd years association, they gave us songs, great songs, that will endure through the years. We've only touched on their many rich tunes, their many brilliant lyrics. But just to remind you, here are a few of their other hits.
So easy to remember. Thou swell in a small hotel.
Where or when? The Lady is a Tramp, Manhattan, Bewitched.
And there are more, many more. And they will be revived from time to time wherever music is played. Fortunately, Richard Rodgers carried on after the passing of his beloved partner. And in the space of 5 short years, he has composed the music to 2 of the most successful musical comedies ever staged. I refer to Oklahoma and the sensational record-breaking South Pacific. So we come to the end of our story and say valet to the team of Rodgers and Hart. And on what better theme can we close than the theme of this program, which we use from episode to episode? Rodgers and Hart's evergreen, With a Song in My Heart.
With a song in my heart, I behold your adorable face, just a song at the start to your grace. When the music swells, I'm touching your hand. It tells that you're standing near, and at the sound of your voice, heaven opens its portals to me. Can I help but rejoice that a song such as ours came to be? But I always knew I would live like you, with a song in my heart for you.
We come to the end of still another episode in our story of men and their music. The featured artists in this presentation were Douglas Kelly, Stuart Ginn, Michael Collins, Don Moore, Kathleen Goodall, Max Blake, and Joan Arnold. The orchestra and vocal ensemble were under the baton of William Flynn. Your narrator was Kevin Brennan. With a Song in My Heart was produced by Alfred Potter and scripted and directed by Jack O'Hagan.